Hey, good morning, friends. Let me talk about hoods on your car to be media blasted, how the process works, some of the ups and downs of that process, and how what I've learned over the course of probably 12 years in doing this, what not to do and what to do. So I'll give you one extreme to the other extreme. 64 to 66 Mustang hoods, I will not touch. They're too vulnerable, they're too fragile, and they're too rusty, and they have no support structure underneath them, and there's a big piece of real estate, flat sheet metal that will stretch. They're probably already stretched from 50, 60 years of use, sitting on them at the drive-in, blah, 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 being beat up and stretched. So they're in aftermarket provides them. They're plentiful in the aftermarket. You can get lots of good hoods, probably better than NOS, the original ones. So if you bring me a first-gen Mustang, I'm going to tell you to take the hood back with you. I'm not going to touch it, okay? The other extreme of that is the 59 Cadillac hood. I've done that, and it was a disaster. I subbed it out. That's a reality of having your business, quote, grow. You have to sub stuff out. It's impossible to find good quality people to work. And also, I don't really want to have people here working for me because I'm always having to supervise them. I'm always having to train them. I'm always having to look over their shoulder, make sure they get stuff done. So I'm babysitting. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to go to the high school and teach, which I might still do. I don't know. But I just can't do that. I'm not going to have people in here working because, and especially guys. Guys come in here, they want to tell me how they did it in their former 3,000 square foot shop, which they don't have anymore. So it's just, I've been down that road. I'm not going to do that any longer. Women are a different story. Women come in here and they like to learn because they couldn't do it freely and with confidence in their schools because the guys would pick on them. I know. I mean, I witnessed that in my high school days. So, and I was a participant in that, regrettably. But you live and learn, you get older and you get wiser, hopefully. So that's where it is. So those are the two extremes on the hoods that I've had experience with. Last week I had a hood that could fall into either category. Probably the latter because it's a 65 Pontiac Catalina. Those are not out there. You cannot find aftermarket hoods. There's no aftermarket products for them. So here I had this big hood, this big beaky hood. You know, the Pontiac had a big nose in the front of it, all their products. And this hood, it was just too big to fit in that blast cabinet, so I had to do it by hand. So I stripped the entire face of the hood with a chemical stripper, then de-ate it, and then went over it, made sure it's nice and clean, the metal cleaner, and then I epoxy primed it, flipped it over, and then I did sub this hood out for only a little bit, just the front nose cone, and I'll share the video with you. The front nose area and just some of the ribbing underneath it, and he did a good job. He didn't destroy anything, and he didn't do it. He didn't blast it as much as I wanted him to, which is good. I'd rather have somebody err on the side of caution than be too aggressive and destroy things. So this is a man, Rudy, who has wisdom, who has experience, and I do use him. I don't like to sub stuff out, but some things for some customers I will do. I will follow through. I will spend a lot more time than it's worth to do to get it right. So the product always matters. It always does. The product, the end result is the only thing that matters on this kind of work. And for repeat customers, I'll do this kind of stuff. But for brand new stuff, I probably won't. So, you know, if you have a 59 Cadillac hood out of the blue, I'm going to give you all the advice. I'm going to invite you to watch this video and, you know, make your best determination at that point. But so that 59 Cadillac hood was destroyed because I subbed it out to a guy in Canyon Lake. His name is B&D Blasting. He's no longer in business because he got sued. I had to provide expert testimony. I didn't really like to do it, but it was just the path that I was on. The lawyers subpoenaed me, and I had to, you know, testify against a guy for this truck that this man destroyed. And I spent time training this guy, telling him what not to do. what to do and what not to do in his blasting business. But he didn't, he blamed it on a worker, one of his workers, which is, a really subpar thing to do. He didn't take responsibility for it. So 59 Cadillac Hood, long story short, I ended up driving to Mojave, California to buy the hood, and I made a video about it a couple of years ago. You can watch it. It's here. You go scroll through it and find it. So that was a lesson learned, and I will not do those things again. I learned my lesson. I'm not going to do it again. It's just too valuable. Another hood in another car that has very good paint is the German automobiles, Volkswagens, these Porsches. Their paint is superb. It is some of the most difficult paint to remove of any vehicle I've ever blasted or any part I've ever blasted. The paint is so good. It sticks so well. And the Porsches don't rust. They just do not rust. And let me show you one. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to spin the camera around and show you the video of this 79 up in the air, some of the areas that I've been concerned about rust. And they're minuscule. They're super, super minor. But these are all things that you have to be concerned with. In my scope, my lane is the blasting and the quote unquote restoration of it. Not going into final paint. I'm not going to do that. There's too many people out there that do final paint, and they're good at it. There's some shitheads too, but most of them are pretty good. The ones that I know and go to. So those are the extremes on the hoods. And also in this video, I'm going to include pictures of the 65 Catalina hood, of the process of doing it. So we'll just take it from there, and we'll make this video and have a good day. See you in a little bit. Okay, walking over here to the 79, getting underneath it, and I'll show you stuff that really does matter. Details matter. This is the frame rail underneath. Let me back up a little bit so you can get some scope. And this is underneath. This area was all bare metal, but this metal, is actually galvanized. So galvanized metal, galvanized steel is very good at resisting rust, but it was bare. So, I cleaned it up, put the zinc-rich primer on it, and covered it up. Cleaned up all this area, as good as it's going to get. I'll probably take it and steam clean it. There's another area right here on the other rail. Down here, these little parts like that, cleaned them up, scraped them up, cleaned them up. You don't have to do much on here, but there is little areas like this whole bracket had to come off. And welding galvanized metal is, it works, but it's not as clean as it could be or should be. I don't know what that was there. Something previously. Little things matter. So that's the rust on that, as I talked about in the in the previous segment there. So I just want to share with that, and I'm going to get into the pictures now. Okay. Okay, if you need to go back, rewind just about 5-10 seconds. Look at the hood again. That's the Cadillac hood, the 59 Cadillac hood. See the ridges in it? I accentuated the visual aspect or the visual impact of that hood by sanding, DA sanding one half of it down and the other half left in raw form after the damaged blasting efforts were made known. And I wanted to accentuate that so you could see just how bad it is. So lesson learned, and I don't mind sharing my lessons. I really don't. So if you need to rewind a little bit, go back and look at that hood. Also, now you're going to look at the hood processes of the 65 Catalina hood, and it's going to be more of a chronological event, showing the initial paint coming off, sanding, then blasting, and then the after effect of the epoxy, the way it looked. And it's back with the customer yesterday. He's very, very happy, very, very pleased with it, and he's glad that quality was number one instead of time. The guys that want me to rush on their projects, I get it. I understand that. I really do. But I cannot afford redos. I cannot afford to do things over. So when you rush me, I'm no longer going to respond to that rush attempt. I won't. So it's very important to be quality minded and get it right the first time and not have to do it over again. And I have a good record of doing that, being successful in that manner and not having to redo things. So I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to be, quote, slow, and get these things done in a manner that you will be happy with. That's what I'm all about. At least that's what I'm trying to do. Okay? There you go. Okay, Rudy, here's the hood. It's sitting on my cushions. I want you to blast the front of the hood, just this lip. The surface of the hood has already been primed, so don't blast it. Just the front of the hood, like about, and you're gonna blast off some of the primer right here, which is fine. Okay, just get that. The nose, the whole front, the underside of the hood. Do not blast these center areas where the skin is. Just only blast the ribbing, you know, the support structure, and then up in the nose, like up in here, get all that, okay? And these hood hinges right here, that's all you got to do, okay? And as soon as this is done, I'll pick it up from you. Thanks, Rudy. Hey, good morning, David. It is approximately, I think, 7 o'clock almost. And your hood is done. I came in this morning, pulled it outside to get some natural ambient light on the hood. It is still tacky in a few areas because I did touch it up last night in the areas needed. Because this is so pristine right now, and I know we had a 10 o'clock appointment, I would like to defer that 10 o'clock a.m. until tomorrow morning at your convenience, at your place, wherever you would like to deliver this hood, along with all of your parts to the hood. This is the latch mechanisms here, and I'll show you how that goes back together on here, but it is still just too tacky. I don't want to damage it, not the hood necessarily, but damage the paint. Okay, thanks, David. Let me know. Bye-bye.